Hi, I'm Bill Guo, and I'm a sophomore studying communication design. I'll be introducing Nick Robinson. He is a marketer and global brand consultant who has extensive experience working in brands such as Pepsi, Gatorade, and AT&T. And he's currently working at Meta's Reality Labs. A little fun fact about him is that he has traveled to over 50 countries.
How's everybody doing today? All right, this presentation is reliant on audience participation, so I want to talk to you today about marketing innovation through the lens of familiar and unfamiliar brands, products, and industries. So to get started, raise your hand if you've ever seen this before. Does anyone know what this is? It's a Gatorade GX sweat patch. I launched this product, and I'll talk about it in a bit. Has anybody heard of this brand? I see a head nod. It's a tequila company founded by Michael Jordan. I had a distinct pleasure of working on this brand. And this is a deep cut. Has anyone seen these before? What are they? Which kind? There we go. Oakley Meta glasses. I didn't see a lot of hands raised, so as a marketer, I didn't do my job to market these products. That's what this is telling me right now. I'm gonna talk to you today about future-proofing a category leader. When you are the dominant player, how do you sustain your business? I'm gonna talk about growing a challenger brand and brand building via category creation. So let's get into it. Started my marketing career at Gatorade. Everyone knows Gatorade, hydration products, right? Well, when I started, I joined the sports fuel team, and we were trying to get into the protein business. So Gatorade was at a point where they needed to expand their business, and so we wanted to do that. Naturally, we felt like protein was a good fit. The only problem is that was a fragmented, established category. There were tons of bars out in the marketplace. So my first question to you all is, how can Gatorade build a sustainable protein business? I need crowd participation. Can anyone answer that? First day on the job, you got it. What do you do?
Stand out.
Yeah, stand out. Yeah, exactly. Stand out.
Build on Gatorade's existing market problem.
I like that. We had to innovate. We had to do some consumer research. We had to lean into our consumer insights team to understand what's going on in the marketplace, what our competitors are up to. And what we learned is that people like to have multiple options of flavors. Right? You got to innovate in terms of what you're offering, pack sizes. If you go to Costco, you want to buy the family size pack. For people who are living solo, you want to buy a single serve pack. And then this unwrapped bar in the middle is one of my greatest failures. It is the Gatorade Whey Protein Almond Butter Bar. It flopped. It only was in the market for 6 months, but I keep this on the slide to keep me humble. All right, so the other things we leaned on is strategic partnerships. Availability is key, right? You gotta be where your consumers are and where your consumers expect you to be. So we formed a strategic partnership with Amazon. And then for the one in the back, we had to lean on our heritage, right? Gatorade is backed by science, used by the pros. So if we're showing all of our Gatorade athletes consuming our hydration products, let's show them consuming our nutrition as well. We're going to switch gears. All right. So I moved teams, and then they said, Nick, good job on protein. Now we got to expand our equipment business. So everyone knows Gatorade by our iconic green squeeze bottles with the orange cap, right? And then I said, well, let's just use the Michael's Secret stuff. That Space Jam's my favorite movie, so let's just do that. And they said, no, we got to be a little more creative than that. So I said, okay. So again, we had to do some consumer research. We had to lean on audience insights. I have these photos up. Based on these photos, what do you think the insight was around our Gatorade squeeze bottles? Exactly. Athletes are gravitating towards forms of self-expression, right? So what was the original bottle birthed GX, which is our customized hydration platform, which turned into a whole lot of options for athletes to identify themselves with your team color. You could customize your bottle with your name. We did licensing deals with the NFL and the NBA, so you could put your favorite team on there. I put the Steelers on here because I'm in Pittsburgh right now. And this was an exciting time. One of my favorite things to see was the far left, LeBron James. He is not a Gatorade athlete. He's never been signed to Gatorade, so he's actually not allowed to be seen marketing Gatorade because he was with Sprite at the time. So he wrapped his GX bottle. I love that. He's still using the product though. The Gatorade dunks, we plastered all over the NFL and NBA sidelines. And then we ended up partnering with an athlete to kind of rep our brand. And so we chose Cam Newton, who at the time was known very much on his style on the field and off the field.
Gatorade GX. Customizable bottles for standout athletes. Nothing beats Gatorade.
So after going into customization, we thought that there was opportunity to continue that journey to personalization. And this is where the sweat patch that y'all have never heard of comes into play. What the heck is this sweat patch? Well, it's a first athlete wearable. So it's for athletes to actually put it on. They put it on their forearm while they work out, and as they work out, they sweat. And as they sweat in the localized area, the sweat interacts with the patch, and the patch has dye in it, and so the dye will start to fill up the sweat patch. When you're done with your workout, we actually launched Gatorade's first ever digital app called the GX app. So you would actually scan your sweat patch like a QR code. And we have machine learning technology that would decode the patch, and it would basically tell you how heavy of a sweater you are and how salty of a sweater you are. We would take in other inputs like the intensity of your workout, whether it was indoors, outdoors, and also your personal information, your height, your weight. And then we would serve you up personalized nutrition recommendations. So how do you need to feel before your workout? How do you feel after your workout? So it's really about giving athletes the recommendations 24/7. What was also cool about this is that it started to give us more latitude in terms of the visual identity that we could take the Gatorade brand. From just the standard orange, black, and white, now we could start to play around with a lot of colors and gradients. And the sweat patch required a lot of testing. So this was years in the making. We were testing with NFL athletes during the heat of summer in the off season. We were in Kona at the Ironman World Championships, testing with the elite triathletes. We were in, this bottom right was Mexico City, training with some of their elite endurance athletes. I'm gonna skip ahead. Oh.
Best-in-class athletes like NBA All-Star Jason Tatum are always looking to push their game forward. That's where a partner like Gatorade comes in. Gatorade has developed a first-of-its-kind wearable, the GX Sweat Patch, which is a new-to-the-world technology. The GX Sweat Patch measures personalized sweat rate and composition, letting athletes understand what they sweat out so they know what to put back in.
What was really cool towards the end of my time at Gatorade is we did some cool partnerships with Jordan Brand and Nike. So we leaned into the heritage of Gatorade from the iconic Be Like Mike commercials from the 90s. We did a fun partnership with Paul George, who was an NBA superstar at the time, and we actually came out with a Nike GX shoe. This shoe was available in NBA 2K. You could play the game, you could unlock certain levels, and unlock the sneaker on the Nike Sneakers app. Within NBA 2K, you could create a player. Your creative player could train and wear the sweat patch, and that could like boost their energy levels for them to play better. And then they could also have their protein products. So really integrating the whole Gatorade ecosystem into these gaming platforms. And so this is really how you future-proof a business. It goes from originally starting off in 1965 as a hydration company, but expanding into protein portfolio, enhanced waters, sweat patches, and more. So let's talk about growing a challenger brand. Cincoro Tequila, founded by Michael Jordan and 4 other NBA owners. So I left Gatorade and came over to this company to run the marketing. Exciting opportunity. Fun fact, Michael Jordan was my final round interview for the job. Very intimidating, but kind of cool. The only problem with this is that there's a lot of other celebrity-owned tequila companies, so it was a very crowded market. You had George Clooney with Casamigos, you have The Rock with Terramana, you have Kendall Jenner with 818, you have another NBA player, you have LeBron with Lobos, and then you have Kevin Hart with his brand. And as I was making this, I realized how short Kevin Hart looks next to LeBron. I didn't do that on purpose, don't blame me. But this was a really exciting opportunity. The one problem that we had with Cincoro is Michael Jordan didn't want to be seen in advertising. So while all these other competitor brands were truly the face of their brand, Michael Jordan wanted to hang back in the shadows. So what do? Well, first, we did a visual identity refresh. So this was the brand a year after, within the first year of coming out. To me, this felt stale. So I wanted to work with our designers to come up with a better look and feel for the brand. Before I show you that, I want to talk a little bit about the bottle. So Michael Jordan had this product, him and the founders, they created the formula, they created the tequila, and they were really excited about it, but they needed a vessel to put it in. So Michael Jordan called his longtime shoe designer at Nike and said, hey, I need a bottle. I need you to put together a cool bottle. So the shoe designer was like, well, Michael, close your eyes. And when you envision what this bottle could look like, tell me 3 words that come to mind. And MJ said, sleek, contemporary, and unique. The designer said, all right, that's my brief. I'll come back to you. And he came back with this bottle. What's cool about this bottle is that it's shaped like an agave leaf. It's also a 5-sided bottle. So it's not the standard cylindrical bottle as most alcohol spirits bottles. And it also has a slight bend, the bottle. So if it's standing straight up, there's a slight curvature to it. The curvature, if you lay it on the floor and you lay 23 bottles head to toe, it forms a perfect circle, 23, like MJ's number, the diameter of a NBA center court. So there's a lot of thought that went into this bottle. So we thought, let's lighten it up. Let's go lighter, brighter. Let's freshen it up. Let's take it from kind of that stale look. Let's make it feel inviting. Let's be aspirational, but approachable. The black bottle on the far right, that's a $1,600 bottle. That's an extra añejo. The añejo is about $200. So again, it's aspirational, but we also want to be approachable. So this is kind of the tone that we took. The bottom right photo is a BTS shot of MJ. Again, this wasn't for any marketing ads. It was more for just PR for us to run. But really cool to be able to work with him. A couple other things that we did, we needed to humanize the brand. So there are a ton of tequila companies. There's a ton of celebrity-owned tequila companies, but there's only one Cincoro. So let's talk about the founding story. Let's talk about how they came together. And so we wanted to be able to share that story. The other thing we needed to do was drive awareness. So let's lean into the power of our ownership group. So one of our owners was the owners of the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's go and make sure that we're getting the brand visibility. Let's run out of home and billboards across major key cities so people know who we are. The reality of my experience here is that it takes a lot of time to build a brand. It doesn't matter who's backing it, it takes time. All right, now the fun stuff. Brand building via category creation. I joined Meta at the time when everyone was talking about the metaverse. It was the hot thing. Facebook had just changed its name to Meta. We had a product out called Quest 2. It was Oculus, or it was Oculus, and then they rebranded to Meta Quest 2. And even Wendy's was trying to get in on the action. So another question for you. What are the challenges do you think we had with trying to establish the MetaQuest brand?
Diverging from the Oculus brand?
Very big challenge. Very big challenge. Yes, yes. There was a lack of consumer understanding of what the metaverse it was. There was this race for everyone to be the most prominent brand related to the metaverse, but no one really knew why we were doing it. The Oculus was a very clear brand. It was a brand for gamers. It had a lot of resonance in that community. And then we changed our name and then changed our whole visual identity. And everyone's like, who are you? So we have to figure out how we grow that. And then we're not solving an unmet need. So as we're preparing for our holiday campaign, we had to write the brief. So here's the brief. The problem, Quest is dismissed as just for techies or gaming. The solution, MetaQuest is for more people than you think because it does more than you think. So our goal was to make Quest the most requested gift of the holiday season. The campaign idea, wish for the extraordinary.
I long to see the setting sun, bring peace on earth to everyone, and faith reborn each glowing morn. That's why I dream. Dreams can unfold the hopes. That's why I dream.
It was a really fun campaign. All right, let me put my frames on now. Ray-Ban Meta enters the chat. So how did we end up with this partnership with Ray-Ban? Well, it really starts with Meta has a relationship and a partnership with EssilorLuxottica. They're based in Milan. If you've never heard of them, that's okay because they don't really market themselves. But Luxottica, they own Sunglass Hut. So if you've ever been to the mall and you've seen Sunglass Hut and all of those eyewear brands in there, they own that. So it was really about competitive insulation as we think about the growing of the category. It was a very strategic move by Zuckerberg. And we started with their heritage brand, Ray-Ban, all about iconic style and fashion. Question, what makes Ray-Ban Meta more compelling of a proposition? People want to wear Ray-Bans. It's a familiar brand. It's a familiar form factor. It's glasses on your face. It also has a simplified solution. It's capture, it's listen, it's audio. But at the end of the day, it's still a nascent category and it requires trial and demos to really understand it, to really have that aha moment. Now, who's listening so far and just like, I hear you, but like, it's probably not for me. It's probably not for me. This one right here, please come up, please come up. Told you, active participation. Let's go. Everyone give her. All right, you're gonna try these on? Sure. All right, 3 features, right? First feature, audio. What do you hear right now?
This is how we do it.
Sing along if you want. Can anyone hear her? No one can hear her, but she can hear. She's grooving over here. That's audio. So that's the audio feature. You can play music. No one around you can hear it but yourself. It's also great. You can talk on the phone. All right, AI. Next question. So I want you to look at the audience, and I want you to say, hey, Meta, tell me what I'm looking at.
Hey, Meta, tell me what I'm looking at.
What?
Oh, we are in a large room that looks like a lecture hall with rows of chairs and people sitting in it, and there's a stage, and I think it's a Europe front.
All right, the last one, capture. So I want you to look over here. You can take a step forward, and I want you to say, "Hey, Meta, take a photo."
Hey, Meta, take a photo.
All right, there we go. Everyone give her a round of applause. What do you think?
I'm trying to imagine the application in daily life. But I need time to think about it.
All right, there we go. There we go. Thank you.
So Meta made smart glasses in collaboration with Ray-Bans.
These are the new Meta smart glasses that are currently going viral on TikTok.
I really like wearing them. I really like using them while I'm out and about.
Is this a piece of smart tech that actually improves your life? Absolutely.
The next generation of Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Everything about this is upgraded from the first version.
And I'm going to take these for a test drive now. Ciao.
Human technology for everyday use with iconic style. What the heck do we call these things? These are the conversations we're having in our meetings. Do we call them smart glasses? Because that's kind of how we started it. Do we call them camera glasses, AI glasses with a capital G, AI glasses with a lowercase g? We have litigated on this for a very long time, let me tell you. Meta glasses, Meta AI glasses. When you're building a category, but you're also trying to establish yourself as a brand, there's a responsibility that you have, and you know that whatever you lead with, others may follow suit. So it's just really important to be cognizant of the naming convention of what you want to call your product. Also, something that we learned from our Quest days is that it's really important to show relatable use cases. So cooking, hands-free, you have your hands full. One use case we learned was a lot of parents who have newborns, you're holding your baby, they look so beautiful and cute, and you're fumbling for your phone, and by the time they're drooling all over themselves and you miss the moment. So having the glasses and hands-free and being able to say, hey, Meta, record a video, capture this moment, or live translation. And then also we get to do some really cool fun stuff in marketing. So we've done some cool limited edition drops. So we partnered with Ferrari on a limited edition pair with F1 driver Charles Leclerc. We've done some fun activations at Coachella. One of my personal favorites is we were at a warehouse in Brooklyn and we threw a hands-free concert with Busta Rhymes. So we basically confiscated everyone's phones, we put them in pouches, and we gave everyone a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses. The insight there was artists get really tired of their fans at their concerts watching their experience through their small phones. So you remove that layer, people are way more engaged. We partnered with Parisian fashion brand Coperni, and we launched this at Paris Fashion Week. We've done cool activations at Paris Summer Olympics last year. And even earlier this year, a Super Bowl commercial with the Chris's, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, and Kris Jenner. And then just 3 months ago, we launched Oakley Meta, which starts to branch us out into performance AI glasses for athletes.
Evolution takes centuries. We don't have that kind of patience.
Hey, Meta, how strong is the wind today?
The wind is blowing 12 miles per hour from the northwest.
Yeah, I got that.
Hey Meta, take a video.
Hey Meta, play my hooping playlist.
Hey, Meta, who is the fastest football player?
Kylian Mbappe.
This is going to change everything.
Kind of cool, huh? I'll get you out on this. 3 takeaways. Start with the insight. Always ask yourself, what is the unmet human need? Building a brand is hard. Category creation is hard, but everything starts with a good product. And innovation is the only constant. Buckle up and embrace the journey. Thank you.